Hello, everybody. The World Cup has kicked off. Welcome back to Cantina MX Football Podcast, episode 359. We have suffered for the last 90 minutes, but Mexico's first game in the World Cup against Poland is finally over. I'm going to be talking about that, and obviously already some surprises in this early World Cup. Welcome, everybody, to Twitter Spaces, YouTube, and, of course, before I go any further, let me welcome our good friend, Joel. How we doing?
Doing good, Jaime. Doing good. Match went pretty much how I expected. So,
I said it, I don't know which episode it was, but I'm like, we're going to get out of the group stage, but you might not like how we get out of there. And today was case in point. Obviously, the big news tonight was Argentina losing their opening match against Saudi Arabia. That one, I don't know who predicted that one. I don't think anybody saw that one coming. And that has obviously dramatically changed the rest of this group. It's turned it into a dogfight.
Yeah, especially with Mexico and Poland drawing, that works in Argentina's favor. We did say one thing here at the Cantina, so we need to start a new segment. You heard it. You heard it at the Cantina. Before the World Cup, we were talking about how it's difficult to judge a team's performance going off of their run, you know.
Qualifiers and all that.
Yeah, friendlies and all that, and if you see them a certain way, and to think, just to go off of that. So Argentina was in a 36-game unbeaten streak. They were one game away. They were one game away from tying Italy at 37, and then if they would have tied or beaten Mexico, they would have, taken the record, which was very possible. You're thinking your last two opponents is Saudi Arabia and Mexico, who's your, los tienes de clientes. You beat 9 out of 10 times, and yeah, they picked the worst day to crash.
Yeah, and that game, that scoreline, if you didn't catch it, because it was at 2 a.m, very misleading because Argentina started off early. They had a quick goal by Messi, and then they had, I want to say 3 more goals, and they were all ruled offside.
And a penalty, I believe there was also a penalty that didn't get called in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
Another, and then Saudi scores that golazo from outside the box, just out of nowhere.
And, one thing you have to remember is the pressure for Argentina is obviously massive. Everyone's pinning them out to be the favorites, the champion, the champions of this World Cup. Do you know, do you think that might have possibly affected them? Just like the expectations are so high, and every little mistake that you do on the field, now you're second guessing yourself.
Not Argentina, because they're always going to the tournament as candidates. They're always one of the favorites, so it's something they're used to.
But the question is Messi used to that? Because we've seen it before, where they bottled 2 Copa America finals. And I don't know if you remember this. People forget about this. He was in the locker room saying, "Ya basta." He just decided to quit the national team after that.
He did quit. It was all this pressure. But then this is one of the reasons why I still have them as favorites, because I don't think he has that pressure anymore. People realize he's now at the tail end of his career. He's about to retire. This is his last World Cup. And so I don't think they're at that, they're not holding him accountable. He did get them a Copa America for what it's worth, but I don't think they're putting that pressure they used to, especially with him not looking so hot at the club level.
Yeah. And I know you had mentioned this could be similar to Pele in 70, taking them to a World Cup, and it's just he end up losing.
Well, yeah, because by that point Pelé was no longer like the best player. You know, he of course he's gold and he's one of the best, but the team didn't depend on him.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't depend on him. They had a lot of great players, a lot of talent, which is very similar. You know, still the same. Um,
Yeah. Kind of taking a step back. Obviously, the opening match was a little bit controversial with Qatar opening things up. They were the big pressure, you know, not being the first nation to lose the opening match as hosts. And Ecuador started off things very early with a goal by Ener Valencia. Unfortunately, it was ruled offside by a hairnail, a fingertip, a toe. It was like the most ridiculous call ever. And 3-4 minutes into the World Cup, I'm already thinking, oh, here we go with the controversy. Here we go. It's gonna be, set for Qatar to be in their favor. But Ener Valencia shut everybody up, scored 2 goals. He should have walked away with a hat trick, but ex Pachuca player Ener Valencia and Ecuador off to a very good start, and excited to see how far they can go.
you're gonna see how far Ecuador could go.
I'm curious to see how far they can go. I don't think anybody expects them to have like a deep run, but obviously that group with Senegal and Netherlands, I have a feeling that Ecuador could get through.
Yeah, we did have them going, them and the Netherlands, and then I think uh, other other countries. I think they were the favorites to do the best, but they already started off with a defeat. We might be seeing a lackluster performance from African teams.
Yeah, color me shocked there. And it was a very close game up until 80th something minute, and that's when the Netherlands finally got a goal. One thing that's been a sort of a trend, and I'm not liking the trend, is the referees have been very generous with stoppage time. We've seen some ridiculous stoppages early on in the tournament. 5, 7, 10 minutes, 15 minutes over there. So just something to be mindful of. These teams are gonna have to go literally the distance, and any goal, any lead that's at least one goal is not guaranteed. It's gonna be one of those stressful kind of World Cups for everybody. But
7 minutes for the Mexico game.
7 minutes for the Mexico game. There was a few instances in that match where the VAR review and all that, but 7 minutes is a lot of time. I mean, that's like Manchester United Fergie time, where they would get these ridiculous come from behind victories. And yeah, another thing I haven't really liked is it takes away from the game is like the VAR reviews, like the play's already over, they're already on a throw in, they're already corner kick, and they're starting to review a play that happened like 3 minutes ago. It happened in Mexico today with Hector Moreno and Lewandowski. The play had ended and it was already like a free kick or whatever, and then the referee decided to take a look at the VAR and ended up having a penalty kick for Poland. And
Yeah, man.
at that point, Joel, how were you feeling when the penalty
I,
kick?
I I thought it was like I thought Mexico was gonna take the L. To be honest,
I think everybody would believe that.
I have faith in Ochoa, but penalty kicks. We're talking about Lewandowski, prolific striker, and I think his record. Don't add me, but I think his record was out of the last 12 or 13, including that one, penalty kicks. He had not missed any,
Hmm.
which he didn't miss it. Ochoa blocked it,
Exactly.
But still, we're talking about. Uh, we're talking about how he keep and giving him his bottle, and he's like, "Hurry up, give it to me."
Yeah, I think with that play and that call, it was just kind of a soft call. Also, the referee was kind of being a little bit biased. He was very, very quick to give Mexican players a yellow card. He gave Jorge Sanchez a yellow,
I agree.
which I thought was very soft. There was a lot of plays where He would call him for Poland, but he wouldn't call him for Mexico, and Poland kept like stepping on toes, stepping on feet, stepping on ankles, and the referee just wouldn't hand out yellow cards for some reason. And then you get this bullshit call, and I do think there's karma. A penalty that wasn't a penalty is always gonna miss. And Ochoa, everybody makes fun of him. The memes every 4 years about how he turns into this like Superman, and I love that he continued to prove the case today. Man of the match for Ochoa. What a incredible performance. And what's crazy is that was really the only save of the game. Poland, aside from that and one other shot, that's it. Ochoa didn't have much to do in that game.
Yeah, that was really good from the Mex team. The defensive end and just how everyone thought Mexico was going to get owned in set plays or in corner kicks, or they weren't going to be able to defend against Lewandowski in the air. And I think the first half, he only had like one good touch. They really weren't letting him do anything. Um, and so it just sucks that defensively Mex is pretty good, but offensively they have the wet powder.
We have USA's #1 fan joining us tonight. Cheekies, how we doing? He's on mute, by the way.
He muted himself. He's back.
How we feeling, man?
I'm feeling fine, man. I'm surprised old timers are getting nervous and stuff, like nervous throughout the game. Just another World Cup, just another game.
Who's getting murdered?
Nervous.
America?
Nervous.
Murder? Wait, we can't hear you.
It does, yeah. It sounds.
You
You sound like you're
underwater.
underwater.
Like a transformer when. I was gonna say a transformer that's getting killed.
All right, let me get a mic.
Oh, there you go.
All right, that sounded better there.
It sounded better there.
Were you just talking from a distance?
Say it with your chest.
Okay, so people get nervous, like Ron's getting nervous and stuff.
Oh, the underwater again.
Yo,
You're
man.
back underwater, Cheekies.
Get a mic real quick.
All right, hold
on. The game against Iran, England.
Hey, speaking of water.
Huh.
Because we got a team that's from the islands, Australia. Last I checked, they were beating France.
Nah, man, you're behind. France came back and scored 2. It's 65th minute right now, but Australia did strike first.
But I mean, 2-1. It's like you also wouldn't think Australia would be, keep first go take the lead and then have France to work to come back, because one of the predictions was Mex going up against France and beating them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting how this plays out. We do have another speaker, MB. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining on.
Hello. Can you hear me?
What you got for us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What do you think about Saudi Arabia against Argentina?
Oh, I mean, what is there to say?